The trap of emotional noise. In a world drowning in noise, a place where everyone scrambles for the loudest emotional reaction, we often confuse volume with power. We assume that the person in control is the one who shouts the loudest, the one who dictates the most external outcomes. But if you peer deep into the history of philosophy, especially the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, you discover a devastatingly different truth. The people with the deepest, most unshakable power. They do not need to scream. They are calm, they are silent, and they possess a profound inner awareness that makes them utterly unmovable. You simply cannot manipulate a person who sees everything but chooses to react to nothing. This is the very core of prohoresis. Your absolute power to choose your attitude, your perception, and most crucially, your response to every single external event. As Epictetus taught us, it is not events that disturb people, but their view of them. The manipulator's single objective is to hijack your prohoresis, to drag you into an emotional fight you are designed to lose. Today, we are going deep into the 7 silent habits, the mental fortifications that the unmanipulatable have built to fiercely guard their inner sanctuary. These are the 7 steel shields of calm power that make you impossible to control, impossible to fool, and impossible to emotionally trick. Let's begin. Habit 1, the strategic silence. Habit 1, the strategic silence. The manipulator needs you to talk, to overshare, to speak in a moment of agitation because that is the only way they can accurately study your weaknesses and pinpoint your emotional pressure points. They listen only to analyze you. But the emotionally strong person does the exact opposite. They observe. Listening is not a passive act here. It is the posture of a strategist. It grants you the crucial space to process information without having to spend the costly currency of an immediate reaction. In Stoicism, this habit is deeply tied to controlling your language and conquering your ego, controlling the word. Every word you utter is a potential gateway into your inner state. The unmanipulatable person understands that unnecessary speech is a waste of energy and an information risk. Their silence is not empty. It is full, full of attention, full of analysis, resisting the need to prove. Weakness enjoys talking to seek approval or external validation. The powerful listen to learn. They listen to decode the truth behind the other person's words. I want you to begin practicing 3-level listening. Level 1, the words, the surface content, simple. Level 2, the tone, the underlying emotion, the uncertainty, the defensive posturing. Level 3, the intent. What do they actually want you to do or feel? When you listen at that 3rd level, the level of intent, you see the entire manipulative strategy unfold before you, and you realize you have no need to engage at all. Habit 2, they don't. Habit 2, no over-explanation. Explain themselves too much. The weak desperately enjoy oversharing, doing it to beg for external sympathy or to gain approval from the crowd. The strong, however, grasp a cold, hard truth. If someone has already decided to misunderstand you, they will expend every effort to keep misunderstanding you. Explaining yourself is an expensive, futile act that instantly lowers the value of your inner peace. This habit is the living embodiment of self-validation. Stoicism teaches us that our true judgment and value reside only in our virtue and our actions, never, absolutely never, in the transient opinions of others. Every time you enter that defensive arena and start explaining, you are in effect placing your intrinsic self-worth under another person's petty examination. You are actively transferring your internal power of judgment to them. Instead of defending or justifying their actions, the powerful let their actions and their calmness speak for themselves. If you have acted rightly according to your reason and conscience, you owe no one an explanation for the peace you possess. Your daily exercise. The next time you feel the urgent compulsion to explain a personal choice, a new boundary, a shift in habit, stop. Ask yourself this single penetrating question. Who does this explanation serve? Does it change their core behavior or does it merely make me feel forgiven? If the answer is no, choose silence and maintain your peace. Habit 3. Staying calm under provocation. Habit 3. They stay calm when provoked. The manipulator feeds their entire strategy on your emotional reaction. Whether it's anger, fear, frantic defensiveness, or induced guilt, your reaction is the oxygen to their flame. The moment you withhold that reaction, their entire strategy starves. Your calmness is not a weakness. It is the impenetrable steel shield of your character. This habit is tied directly to the fundamental Stoic concept, the dichotomy of control, internal control. You cannot control the fact that others will attempt to make you angry, but you control 100% of your response. Calmness is the ultimate choice. To maintain your self-sovereignty, breaking the reaction cycle, manipulators expect a familiar chain of events: accusation, defensive reaction, concession. When you interject silence or unflappable calm, you create a cognitive gap, a moment of rational disruption that causes the manipulator to lose control and lose their script. I urge you to practice premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Before entering a difficult situation, ask yourself, what is the absolute worst thing they can say? And how will my rational mind respond when that happens? By rehearsing your reasoned response before the emotion can invade, you have already won 50% of the battle. Habit. Habit 4. Choosing people. Not chasing for, they choose people. They don't chase them. The emotionally strong person never ever begs for attention. They don't compete for recognition. They certainly do not attempt to prove their inherent worth through the mere presence of others. They understand an immutable law of self-respect. The right people, those aligned with their deepest values and virtue, will naturally stay. The wrong people will naturally leave. And they accept both outcomes with complete serenity. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about protecting the soul from the contamination of wicked people. This habit is fundamentally about safeguarding your virtue. Time is finite. Stoicism call memento mori. The moment you truly internalize that your time on earth is finite, you stop wasting it chasing those who disrespect you or those who actively undermine your spirit. Choosing people is in the deepest sense an act of honoring your own life and time, shifting from chasing to attracting. Chasing is the action of scarcity and neediness. Choosing is the action of abundance and self-possession. When you operate with high standards and genuine self-regard, you naturally attract people vibrating at the same frequency. I want you to evaluate your relationships through this critical lens. How many interactions enrich your energy and spirit, offering encouragement, learning, and peace, versus how many interactions drain your energy, bringing criticism, drama, and manipulation? The strong always ensure this ratio tips decisively in favor of their inner sanctuary. Habit 5, the habit 5, the consistency metric. Consistency metric. The manipulator is a master at using the word sorry as a tool to instantly reset their toxic behavior. They offer an apology purely to buy permission to repeat the same offense without accepting true accountability. The powerful soul does not trust mere words. They observe patterns. They judge the deep, long-term consistency of action, not empty, fleeting promises. This habit is the application of logos, pure reason, and healthy skepticism to your relationships. Genuine repentance versus manipulative apology. Oh, repentance is accompanied by specific, demonstrable change, radical responsibility, and long-term commitment. Oh, manipulation is accompanied by excuses, partial blame placed on you, and the inevitable systematic repetition of the offense, the rule of three. Understand this simple law. If a damaging behavior repeats itself for the third time after warnings and promises of correction, it is no longer a mistake. It is a pattern. It is a deliberate choice. The Stoic understands that human character is revealed through repeated actions. Do not allow emotion, your desire for forgiveness, or your desperate hope to blur the objective truth proven by action. Be a scientist in your relationships, collecting data on consistency. Habit. 6. Guarding your energy. 6. They guard their energy like currency. This is the habit that demands our full, unwavering attention. It is the absolute key to guarding your inner citadel. The unmanipulatable fundamentally understand that peace is expensive. It is not some free gift or a default setting. It is the highest value asset you possess. Therefore, they manage their energy like a cautious investor managing volatile currency. The energy we speak of here is not just physical stamina, it is cognitive energy, the capacity to focus, to make rational decisions, and to maintain an unshakable calm. The emotional tax, every heavy conversation, every pointless explanation, every single struggle to enforce a boundary is an emotional tax levied against your energy capital. When your capital is depleted, you become highly volatile, easily triggered, and supremely vulnerable to manipulation. The power of the guiltless no. Saying no is the supreme act of energy defense. The strong do not feel obligated to justify their act of self-protection. Any apology or defense accompanying your no instantly devalues your boundary. I want you to refer to the following three-step energy defense framework. To integrate this habit, you must conduct a rigorous energy audit. 1. Identify the invisible costs. List the three people or the three scenarios that leave you feeling your soul dimming. Now, measure the cost. How many hours does it take you to restore your state of peace after that interaction? 2. Set the no justification boundary. Learn to deploy short, powerful responses. I cannot participate in this conversation. That is not where I choose to spend my time. My answer is no, and then silence. 3. Practice strategic withdrawal. Leave the conversation the moment you feel it turn heavy. You do not need anyone's permission to protect your most precious asset. Your walking away is the ultimate act of control. Stoicism is the art of selective engagement. Your cognitive energy is your most valuable resource for achieving virtue. Guard it fiercely. Habit 7. They let silence. Habit 7. Letting silence shatter manipulation shatter everything. Manipulation cannot happen in a vacuum. It requires a partner, a fuel source, a reaction. The manipulation ends the very instant you stop responding, the moment you cease providing the raw material. Distance, not confrontation, exposes the truth faster than any argument ever could. Confrontation is often a script that the manipulator has already prepared. Distance, however, is the strategic withdrawal of the powerful mind. The silence here is not a permanent rejection of communication. It is an intentional pause, a moment of rational self-preservation. Your absence forces the manipulator to face their own actions. When there is no target for the attack, they are left staring into the void created by their own choices. You never need to tell people that you have changed or that you are stronger now. The silence and the distance you establish will make them feel that shift. That is the most powerful testament to your self-mastery. The final counsel. Instead of drafting a long, emotionally charged message explaining why you are upset, send a short, factual message if necessary, and then put the phone down. Let the silence carry the full weight of your choice. Power is not in how you react. Power is in what you choose not to respond to. Conclusion. Conclusion. We have journeyed through the 7 habits, the 7 mental fortifications, from the quiet discipline of strategic listening to the absolute resolve of guarding your energy like sacred currency, and finally allowing your silence to speak the final unarguable truth. All of it converges upon a single unbreakable Stoic principle. Power is the complete mastery of the self. You do not need anyone's permission to become unmanipulatable. You only need your own permission to relentlessly focus on your prohoresis, that faculty of moral choice, your ability to choose your perception and dictate your response. By forging these habits, you're not just building boundaries, you're building an impregnable fortress. You are becoming a person who cannot be controlled because you have mastered the one thing manipulators fear most: yourself. Now share your story in the comments below. I, Jason, will read every single one. And if this video brought you value, you can click the thanks button as a way to encourage us to create more valuable videos. Hit subscribe, where each week we train the mind to become untouchable. Finally, drop a short, powerful word in the comments below. I choose peace. Write that to seal your commitment to stand firm against all external pressures. Remember, your silence is becoming your most formidable strength.